All right. Bjergsen announcement. All right, here it is. And we'll just watch a couple of his games, and then when we get bored, we're going on the solo queue grind, boys.
Hey guys, it's Bjergsen here, as you may know, and I'm here to talk to you guys because I have an announcement to make. I'm really grateful for what playing professionally and what League of Legends and TSM has really given me. When I first started playing professionally, I was a depressed kid in Denmark, and I was really just, League of Legends was just an escape from the hard times I was having at school especially, and in my first...
Bro, okay, here's an aside. We'll go into it in the beginning. This guy... Bjergsen, so I was like boys with Bjergsen in season 5. Like I like talk to this guy almost every single day, right? We played duo like 500 games or some shit. This guy told me some of the stories about how he was bullied. He said once, you know, like the thing under your tongue that connects your tongue to like the bottom of your jaw, like that little like line thing. I don't even know what the fuck this thing is called. That thing. Like open up your mouth, put your tongue up. You see that little like stringy thing at the bottom? He told me that the kids at his school cut that shit with a fucking spoon. Like he got held down and they cut that thing in his tongue with a fucking spoon. That's how hard he was getting bullied. It was some crazy shit that he went through, dude. It was actually insane.
A couple of years I was really just playing to stay out of school because I knew that if I didn't make it, I would have to go back because you have to finish high school, especially in Denmark. And yeah, the person I am today is through this job and through this career, and I think it's been a great way for me to grow and learn a lot of things, have a lot of hardships, have a lot of success. And after playing professional League of Legends for about 8 years and playing for TSM for I think close to 6, I'm here to talk about the fact that I'm retiring as a professional player and stepping into the head coach role for TSM.
Hey.
It probably comes as a shock to a lot of you guys, and I especially don't want it to seem like this is a sudden reaction to our poor world's run. It's something I've been thinking about for a long time, and especially in this last year. I almost even committed to the change in between spring and summer, but I really wanted to have a good season before becoming a coach. And
we're calling it quits.
There's just a lot of aspects of when you're a leader and when you're a veteran on the team, you end up doing a lot of coaching while you're playing, and I always really enjoyed that aspect, and I enjoyed helping the team be on the same page, helping the team be at their best, play well together, help individuals improve and flourish. But it was always a bit of a side project because ultimately, as a pro player, you have to focus on yourself first and foremost and your own performance. So I always had to kind of leave it up to whoever was working with the team to do those things. But I think just as I've gotten older and as I've been playing longer, now just feels like a good time to really step into that role full time and see what I can do when those projects are truly my responsibility. Yep. I even feel like kind of saying the word retirement doesn't really feel like it fits because I don't really feel like I'm retiring. I'm still going to be a competitor in League of Legends, and with TSM I'm just changing the role. I'm not going to be actively playing on stage during the matches, but I still feel like I'll be competing and I'll be working every day towards the same goal, which is winning North America, doing well at Worlds, ultimately winning Worlds, and yeah, it's just about doing it from a new standpoint.
Yeah, so the thing that I like about this for Bjergsen is it shows his mindset. Like, people are gonna meme this to death, but this guy legitimately just did everything in his power to try to win Worlds, like for years. That was his mentality since season 4, season 5. He literally tried every approach that he could do to win Worlds as like the ultimate goal, and he was somebody who didn't just say that. He actually lived it day to day. Like, man, this guy wouldn't go out that much, like even with friends, even like when he had like a girlfriend, he would sacrifice like going out. So there was a point where my girlfriend was really good friends with his girlfriend, and they would always like plan things, and he would just be like, no, like I gotta fucking, like this was like an off season too. He'd be like, no, I gotta like fucking practice. Like he would still go out sometimes, but very fucking rarely. And he would be so focused on like trying different approaches. He'd like spam solo queue. There'd be years where he'd be like, all right, I'm just gonna play only solo queue, play like 15 hours a day. That was mainly like season 5. Season 6, he changed his mindset to I'm gonna like grinding is not gonna be the number one thing. Like I'm gonna actually learn to become a better leader. And this guy just started reading a bunch of fucking books like over and over again on leadership, mentality, like how to have like great performance. Books like Outliers that helped you understand like how people become truly great at things. This guy actually did it all. Now people will flame him, and the normal argument would be like, oh, if he really wants to win, he should have went to EU. And sure, like that could be fair, but for a lot of times, like he thought that the best place for him to win was within NA and within TSM. Up until the last couple years where he was more solidified in TSM, it wasn't like there was that massive gap between NA and EU, which people will meme now. But like, even for example, season 7 Worlds, I'm pretty sure EU didn't even make it to quarter, or didn't even make it to semis. NA didn't make it to semis either. Both teams just lost in quarters. Like there wasn't this massive difference. And because he played, and he had such like a big influence within TSM, like he was consistently making changes where it's like, if you're in, so for example, G2 is not getting out of groups in season 7, right? Like they got smashed in groups. TSM lost in groups as well. If you're him and you're like, hey, we can play with the same team here, and we just get Sven and Mithy the best bot lane, and he's playing with us now, like we can legitimately win. Like I think he went into most years thinking that the team was set up to outperform European teams that he could have potentially gone to. So for me, it's not the type of thing where I flame him that much for it. Sure, in retrospect, it's the wrong decision, but from his perspective at the time, I think that a lot of the decisions he made were with winning as the number one priority, and he didn't really care about like, you know, money and things like that. And plus, dude, for how good this guy was, he was the best player in North America for a long time. I know that people always say IW's the GOAT because IW has more championships. I think if you look at the way that Bjergsen won his championships and the rosters Bjergsen did it with, I just personally value Bjergsen more as a player than IW. But I think IW is probably like second, you know? But that's just what I see in them. And I think this guy is like a completely like, he's a winner's mindset. It just sucks that it didn't work out.
Perspective, and I'm really excited to have just a lot of new goals to work with. Even though we obviously had an extremely disappointing Worlds run, I was still really happy and proud that we brought a trophy to you guys again after kind of a drought of not having any for a while, and my hope is just that I can continue to do that, but from a different position within the team, and hopefully in the long run have more of an impact from the coaching.
Well, then he's blind. No, you just saw what happened afterwards, and then your mentality was just, oh, well, obviously after I watched season 9 and season 10, and you got to also remember in season 9, it was mainly just G2 that was significantly better than everyone else. And if you're not going to G2, the fact that, you know, the other teams are getting to quarters and your team's lost in like group stage, so it wasn't a massive difference outside of G2 recently. Even in 2018, when Fnatic went to finals, you know, Cloud9 went to semis and things like that. So like the EU really succeeding as a region is more recent than people expect. I mean, since 2018, the only teams that have got to semis and finals have been teams with perks or caps on it, right? It's like those two players have been getting to semifinals plus, and then there's been like no other like teams that were independent of them that were actually having that amount of success. So if you take the results out of it and you look at his mindset, it makes sense for most years up until like the last couple years, season 8, season 9, season 10, where at that point, like he's starting to get equity in the company, and there are like reasons where you can be like, okay, well, this is the issue. I mean, even season 8, which I just explained, was completely excusable. Season 9, once you've been in this league for like 6 years, and you know, like you're getting different offers, etc., then it becomes, you know, a little bit harder for him to leave. But I legitimately think in season 6, season 7, season 5, he thought his best chance at winning internationally was in NA. Like that's just what happened.
Side, then
H2K, I was talking in the recent years. I said in recent years. I mean, if you want to go back as far as 2016, sure. But H2K's like run to me has always been the least impressive semifinals run, because the team that they had to beat to get there was a wildcard team. I think that might be the only time a wildcard team has ever made it to quarters at Worlds. Maybe there was another time like in really early years, but H2K was not even the best team within Europe. And they like, even though they beat EDG in group stage, they won like a couple best of ones that ended up being clutch. I think they went 4-2 in their group. Their run to me was just not like as impressive as the other ones. Like 2015 the rosters were pretty impressive, I would say, right? Like, I'd say that Origin making it to that semifinals and Fnatic making it to that semifinals is just way higher value to me.
Than I did it even as a player.
Yeah, that's an NA GOAT right there.
Thank you guys for supporting me and the team. I know this is probably not what a lot of you expected, but I hope that you'll continue to support me in this new role. I can't promise that I'm going to be the perfect coach right away, and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, but I hope that you guys know me and that you know my mindset, and that every day I'm going to do my best to improve, even if I fail, even if I make mistakes.
Look, if you're on a fucking team and Bjergsen is your coach, you're going to listen to him, right? I feel like that's one of the most important things about being a coach is getting your players to buy into your mentality and like trust you and be willing to work towards a common goal. And if this guy is your fucking coach, I'm pretty sure you automatically have the respect of all 5 players.
I hope that in the long run I can be the best head coach that CSM can ever find.
But he is from EU. Ah, good one. Good one. Yes, that invalidates the fact that he played in NA for his entire career and he's the best player that we've ever had. That's such a weird way to try to discredit Bjergsen. Being like, oh, well, he's from EU, so he can't be the NA GOAT. He can't be the GOAT of NA. That's so weird, but sure, man. If that's what you want to say, then sure.